Well, hello, YouTube. Welcome back to Melody's Bagel Egg and Let's Dig It. This is going to be Garden Tour 2, Take 10. Literally, that's how it's felt to me. Right here is the kale. You can see it's getting extremely big and a little stalky, so I don't know if I should cut that back some, but all the rain here really got big. And then our mystery plant over here, I mentioned in a previous video, I think is leaning towards like a purple cabbage. So it looks like to me. If anybody knows, leave a comment below. And some baby kale is still coming up. And then we have more zinnias. They're starting to get a little bit bigger. Let's see, we have this zinnia here. I think the rain displaced a lot of my zinnias on spots where I was planting them, but that's okay. Get another one there. And then we have still some baby eggplants. I hope they have a chance to grow. I'm hoping. And then we have the next size eggplant with another one right here and back there with a baby in the middle that has some bug bites on it. But then we have a really big eggplant. It has finally some buds going. I'm so excited. I didn't think I was going to get any. This is my second. I had to cage it today. Look how big it is, but it is getting some bite marks. I don't know if that's the beetles doing it, but I just got it caged up today. I know it's not the greatest cage, but at least I have two big ones. This is a third decent size eggplant. So hopefully these will come in. And then these were those transplants that someone gave me. I'm not really sure what they are. Part of it's binding up the trellis, and the other part of it is wrapping itself around a zinnia going into the zucchini bed. I'm really not sure what this is. This is the leaf with the tentacle. Does anybody know what this could be? It's wrapping itself around a lot of things. I don't want it to choke it out, so I have to figure out a solution to that. And then, yeah, so next to the eggplants, this is bush bean that I planted a seed because one was there, died, so that came up. We have green beans, whatever these are back there. I'm assuming it's some kind of a bean, not really sure. There's another part of that plant made its way up here. Looks like it actually rooted itself into the ground. So I'm not really sure what that is. Some type of pole bean maybe, even though I didn't plant them. And then we have more purple bush beans. I think there's only one on here because I picked some last week. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I had really bad surgery in my mouth yesterday, and I am hurting. This is like my 10th attempt to try to do this video and get this out there. So this is the bush beans. They're doing good. Not too bad. Just got to figure out what that is. But my enormous sunflower is at its end, I guess. I usually grow like super tall ones to go all the way up there. So I'm not quite sure which kind this one is and if I'll get any sunflower seeds off of it. It was so pretty. It's a shame that it's, I guess, dying now. So that's the sunflower. And then we have more zinnias growing. And then here is the zucchini patch that is growing wild. I actually have, I'm assuming that this is regular zucchini over here growing now. Don't remember planting it. I guess it's possible. But that's one plant there. This is 2. And this is a 3 with funny leaf color. And then over here is the 8-ball zucchini. But I've only gotten one out of here. I don't know if I can cut some of this back so we can get some air circulation, but every time they grow, they usually get end rot or they're just not being pollinated. I have another zinnia in there. There's the basil that went to seed that I left back there so that the bees maybe can help the zucchini plants. And a quick question that I have for everyone. These things that are here on the top of the basil, can you just pull them off and dry them? And does that turn into an automatic seed for next year? Not really familiar how to save seeds from basil. If somebody can leave a comment down below, that would be great. So this is the wild zucchini patch. Very wild, as I just stated, with a volunteer sunflower. Mixed zinnia is all in there. Here is another sunflower. Got lots of them growing around. And then look at this, guys. My first zinnia. It almost looks like a little star on the top of it. Is she not beautiful? And there's another sunflower with some strange coloring on it. This is the section where I planted some okra, but I'm not really sure what okra looks like when it's coming in, if it even did come in. I'm not sure if this is it or if this is going to be another zinnia, but this is the only place I would have planted it. Not sure if that looks like okra. And this looks like an herb, which I definitely would not have planted there, but it's there. So this is a little wild over here, and that's because I didn't want to weed until I saw what came up, which I explained the last time, I think on the first tour of the garden. So yeah, if anybody knows if this is an okra or what it is. And how about this? It definitely looks like a herb. Let me see if I can smell it. It doesn't have any smell. Not really sure what that is. And then more zinnias. Not even sure. I guess this is going to be a zinnia too. We have this big mammoth zinnia that this came out of, which I was tickled today to actually see that. So happy. It's my first time ever growing zinnias. Wow, my rose bush is a whole different story. It's completely looking like it's dying. I'm going to give it some rose food, but I'm not sure what's going on with that, which is right next to the sunflower. And then, I showed you that sunflower. This is the cabbage patch. They're huge. They do have some bite holes going on, but I haven't been really consistent with my homemade bug spray. It's because I've had a lot going on, and yesterday I had surgery in my mouth. It may not sound like it, but I'm literally talking out of the side of my mouth right now because the other side's full of stitches. Sorry to be gross, but yeah, this is like the 10th attempt to try to get this video out there for you guys. But there's the head. It's still growing, and it's starting to feel pretty hard. There's a little head growing right there. If you remember, there used to be one that was so discolored, and I'm pretty sure that was from the rain, so I ripped it out. And the other one that was here, I fed to my rabbits. And these other ones have some bite marks, but I think this one may be starting a head. And then this one I'm not too sure about. So we'll see how many I can get out of here. It was my first time doing cabbages. I may try them again for my fall garden and see how that goes. Some of the garlics are still there, some are falling over. These are the red beets, they're still doing good. I have red beets going down the line. And I also have red beets that are growing in the busboy pan, if you remember them. Here's another zinnia that placed its stuff there. We have some crazy wild looking basil. Let's grow it over here. This was that herb for fish. Can't think of it right now, but it went to flower. And then back here is the rosemary, which hopefully that takes because I use a lot of rosemary all fall and winter long. So yeah, the wild zucchini with lots of zinnias, the cabbages. I keep moving this thing to all different spots because I haven't really been out here. I had a really bad infection. So hopefully tomorrow I feel better and can get out here and do some weeding and some cleaning up, put things where they belong. I have tomato plants that need to be tied up. So, and these red beets are not looking big enough yet to pick them, but the red beets are still doing good. This looks like a volunteer zinnia. I think my place is going to be full of zinnias this year. We got large amounts of rain here. So now this section, which is where the cabbages are the single stem tomatoes that are no longer single stemmed. This is probably the only one that's wrapped up because it got damaged from the rain. I had to tie it up, and it looks like this piece could use to be tied up. But look at how bushy these got, guys. Look, you can barely even see in there. We have some buds, we have some tomatoes going. This was the single stem tomatoes that, I can't even believe how big they got. There's two back there that are a little scrawny still, but, and then I have this weird curling going on the green zebra tomatoes. I don't know if that's a thing. It's supposed to look like that. But all three of these are pretty bushy. I'm gonna have to prune tomorrow. And then these are the Cherokee tomatoes. I did 2 rows of them. Have the same thing with the leaves though. I'm not really sure what's going on. We got tomatoes, guys. Looks like it might be one of those split tomatoes. But there are tomatoes finally growing. And that one doesn't look too wild. These two do, but there's also no tomato on either one of these two, but I'm gonna have to stake them better and tie them up. So that, which is right next to where I planted my potatoes that I already dug out, this is all the single stem tomatoes. I did plant a lot in a very small area. I'm just gonna have to try to come out here and clean some of this up and stake them up. So this is all the tomatoes, the Cherokees, and the zebra tomatoes. And these are the, let's see what kind this one is, the green zebra tomatoes. These are the 3 peach tomatoes, which cannot wait to see how they turn out. And with the red beets again. So that's this side. I'll give you a quick scan backwards. The potatoes, the tomatoes, which really need some help. Really gonna have to tie these up pretty good. Sunflower, the cabbages that have the 2 heads. I don't have a drone, so I'm just gonna do a, what do they call that? Panoramic little view. Again, the zucchinis, bush beans, eggplants, and the kale with more zinnias, sunflowers mixed in. And then let's go over here. This is a prime example of what's going on. This is an 8-ball squash zucchini that now has ants all over it. But as soon as I pulled it off, this part is soppy and squishy and the top's hard. I don't know if that's from the rain or not enough pollinators. Here are my 2 tomato plants in the pot. Getting some tomatoes. And then I single stemmed. I took the cage off and I tied this one up today for the few amount of minutes I could be out here in this heat. So that looks a little bit better instead of it being in the cage. More zinnias, marigolds. Look at all the tomatoes. We got lots of tomatoes going back there. And I tied, did I tie this one up? No, this one, let me see. I tied it up down here, but I think I'm gonna have to pull this together like this if the leaf would have got out of the way so you could see, and tie it to the rod that way. And I did tie up another sunflower plant that was looking a little close to the tomato plant. So I tied it up with this squiggly metal rod just to give it a little bit more reinforcement. So this is the beginning of this garden, but let's keep going. There's a lot in here. So I think the first row is the black Krim tomatoes. That's this row. I might have even did 2 rows. We have tomatoes there, black Krim. Pretty sure the second row was black Krim as well. We have more tomatoes. This one was slow going, this plant here. And that was the only one that I bought. It was a big boy because I didn't have that seed. And it's very slow going. I don't know if it's from the rain. More zinnias. This is looking a little wild. Like I said, I'm going to have to get out here tomorrow and clean some of these up. Let's see. Oh, we have my first red tomato. My first red tomato, and I can't even scream with excitement, even if it's a little one, because I have a mouthful of stitches right now. So, I'm assuming this might be the cherry. I just looked at the tag. The tag is empty. Doesn't say anything. So these might be the cherry tomatoes. I'm just grateful to have any tomatoes. I was getting very scared about this year with all the rain. There seems to be lots more in there as well. And then, yeah, this is gonna have to be tied up. It's like a jungle. And that might be the same one in the back, but I'm not seeing any tomatoes back there. And then this next row is black Krim tomato, which is very odd. It's under here, but yet it's branching out. So I'm definitely gonna have to do some pruning. But we do have some buds. So this row is the black Krim. There's like 1, 2, 3 in there. And what else? The Dr. Winchies. Let me see. Dr. Winchies. Probably saying it wrong. Dr. Winchies. There's some buds. We have more buds here. And then, what do we got? Oh, we have some baby tomatoes. Let's see what kind this one is. This one is large red cherry. I do like the cherries and the pears, and I like the big tomatoes, don't get me wrong, but I also love them as much because my son likes them roasted in the oven. All different types of tomatoes on a cookie sheet, and then put garlic in there and roast it in the oven, and he loves it over penne pasta. So it's a fan favorite of ours. What else do we have back here? Dr. Winchies. Dr. Winchies has a baby tomato on it back here. It's very hard to even... Oh yeah, we have a couple of tomatoes down there. I don't know if you can see this. Let me try to get in here and show you. We have more tomatoes. And then... Woo! More tomatoes. Yay, I'm excited. I wanted to get so many tomatoes that I didn't know what to do with them. Because believe me you, I will find something to do with them all. And then, okay, so that was cherry, and then Dr. Wynn cheese. I think this is Rutgers. This row here. Yeah, I think this is Rutgers. You can see probably not the tag down there. That's Rutgers on that row. There's another sunflower. Again, major question I have is, can you have a sunflower growing in with tomatoes, which would mean I have 1, 2, 3. I was thinking about pulling one out and transplanting it somewhere else. These were transplants in front of the garden with a zinnia. There's the other zinnias next to the potted tomato. These are rows and rows of tomatoes. Black Krim, Big Boy, Dr. Wynn cheese, Roma, another sunflower. These were transplanted, so I'm wondering if this one's too big for me to pull out of there and transplant it maybe over there where the other one's dying off, or maybe in the corner over there. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know what you think. Down there is a baby beefsteak tomato. Actually, if I can get in there, it has a tomato on it. So, I mean, I finally am seeing tomatoes. Basil. I call this the wrinkly basil. I'm sure it has a better name than that. I think I heard Jess say, but I don't remember it. If somebody knows the name of this basil, please leave it down below in a comment so I can try to grow this again next year. I think it was very healthy. Big leaves. Like, one basil leaf that I picked a few nights ago was enormous. So the basil's doing really, really well. Here's more eggplants. These are the Rosa Blancas. 1, 2, 3. And then we have peppers. This is long hot peppers. I don't know what color you're supposed to pick these. But look at it. Got some long hot peppers going on over here. This is jalapeno that struggled because the bugs were biting it, and I used the cinnamon. I have ants that keep going back there. This one here still has some bug bites on it, and that's a jalapeno as well. I'm not seeing, there's a couple buds on here. This is Santa Fe peppers right there. This is looking, it's looking pretty bad before. It looks like it's coming back. It's another long hot with a possible another one maybe right next to it. Banana peppers are doing fine. That was really getting eating bad. Let's see what else we have. This is chocolate pepper right here. Doesn't have any bugs on it at all. This one has a bud. That's a chocolate pepper. I don't know if you guys can see that. You see those ants? I need a solution. I tried the cinnamon because it was eating my pepper plants. We have another sunflower. And then this is a Wonder Bell back here. It does have flower on it. Another sunflower. This one is, let's see what the tag says. Big red pepper. I literally forget. I have to pull the tag out. This is a big red pepper. I told you my peppers were struggling between getting eaten by something, whether the ants or the bugs. And that one pepper down there doesn't look too good. Let me pluck that off right now. Unless it's changing colors. This has to be from the rain. Getting a little bit of that. It's the second one I found has that discoloration on it. This one's a big red bell pepper. I think that's a Wonder Bell back there. Wonder Bell. This one Just literally, they're curling. Gotta see what kind of pepper it is. I can get in here. It's like a jungle. It says big red peppers, but obviously we know it's not. They could be banana peppers or long hots. So there's a lot on that one. Maybe I should pick this one that's curling off because it may be done. I don't think it's supposed to curl like that, do you guys? So I pulled that one off. Still have strawberries. Volunteer plant. Not sure if it's going to be cucumber or squash, zucchini. Not really sure. These are all zinnias. The lavender's not as bright as it was before. Another odd looking sunflower that is starting ahead. This is the marigolds. Another zinnia. And we're starting to finally to get some cucumber flowers, and it's trailing up, so that's good. Peas died off back there, as you can see. And that's a Wonder Bell right there as well that has pepper on it. And look at the size of this sunflower. Enormous. Okay, let me keep going so I can get this actually out there. This was my tomato that was in the bucket that actually got broke from a storm, but I tried to nurse it the best that I could. If you have some that look like that on there. But we have tomatoes. Red tomato, which I'm extremely excited about. Be really excited when I can eat food again. So, it doesn't look the greatest. That was that big wild tomato plant, but it's still hanging in there. And then when we go over here, another sunflower. We have a mixture of zinnias down here. This looks like a cucumber plant, possibly, right here. This is originally where I had a raised bed, but was told I couldn't keep it. So I had to rip it all out. This is some type of zinnia. All the spots on it. And yeah, this might be, I'm not really sure. Might end up being a zucchini or a cucumber. Got another one over there. This is the cantaloupe, which I don't like cantaloupe, but I got one by mistake and it is growing. It has tentacles, so I guess it needs to be trellised up. I'm gonna have to take care of that tomorrow too. And then inside this pot was another, what I assumed was a zucchini. It's been having a hard time surviving. It's got zinnias in here. It just doesn't look all that healthy. That's the hummingbird butterfly bush right there. Not sure. Another zucchini maybe. We'll have to see. Another sunflower. Let's go back here to the corn. I'm starting to see stalks, the hairs, I love it. So I have a little corn patch. Let's stand back so you can see it. I did just like a 4x4 maybe, or an 8x8 of corn. And I give them a shake every now and again so hopefully the corns will grow. Let's see. There's corn. There's corn there growing. Some corn there growing. I lost a few, but hopefully there's enough for it to pollinate. There's my corn patch. And that's the cucumbers, goes into the peppers, the tomatoes. This is the section over here. The cantaloupe, I'm gonna have to trellis up. Give this another few more days to see what it is besides zinnias. So zinnias everywhere. Yeah, it's a shame because it's broke in a storm, this tomato plant, but no, it's hanging in there. I'll let that go, it's not ripe enough. So yeah, the cucumbers. Look, there's a stalk of corn. How exciting. But that stem to that sunflower is enormous. I don't think there's a head on it. It's bigger than I am, and I'm 5'8½". So that was all the peppers and tomatoes, guys. And then my other thing here was I broke off some of those flowers, I guess you call them, from off the basil plant. I wanted to know, is this the seed? Do you have to let this dry in order to get the seed? If somebody can leave a comment below on that, that would be great. So I'll give you a view. Peppers are going still a little small, so is the eggplant. But the tomatoes are finally growing in, and now it's looking like a jungle. So, yeah. This is the outside of the deck that I've showed you before. A lot of marigolds. Herbs are doing quite well. It's probably the only thing really left to show you this time. This is a mixture of herbs in this one. Oregano, chives, thyme, sage, basil plant that died. It looks like it's trying to come back. Parsley, oregano that's flowering. Guess I have to figure out if I can cut that or not. So yeah, that's my out back. I wanted to finally get this video done. So this is garden tour week 2. Alright guys, I'm starting to lose daylight. I hope you enjoyed this video, and leave any comments or a couple questions down below in the comment box on a few things that I asked about the basil seeds. What was the other thing I asked? I don't know. You have to watch it in the video in order to say. Alright guys. There's dogs around where I live. Oh yeah, I'm finished showing this. Sorry about my noisy Sophia. Stop, Soph. This is the other bush bean that's doing pretty well. That's called the backward sneeze on a Yorkie. And this is basil plant. It's doing great. This I took out of the sun and moved it today. I harvested some cilantro today. We got a pepper in the pot. 3 peppers actually, with some flowering. Almost forgot to show you up here. Things in the pot. Tomatoes, there's some buds on there. Pineapple sage. Another herb container with every herb you could think of. A couple tomatoes going in this bucket. Herbs are doing fantastic. I still didn't harvest any of this lemon balm yet. This got much bigger since the last video. And I'm wondering if I should harvest some of that pineapple sage. But yeah, I just love this basil. I think it grows much better than Italian basil. That's a fact. It definitely grows, I think, much better than Italian basil. Still have strawberries. Mint. Let me see, is there anything else I missed out on showing you? Parsley. More oregano. It's a tomato that was in the container. We have some tomatoes on there. Herbs are still looking fantastic. Marigolds. And another batch of that basil, which I think is called Dolce Fresca basil. If anybody's familiar with the basil, please feel free to leave me a comment below. And I think this is a volunteer of the wrinkly basil. At least that's what I call it, wrinkly basil. These are the red beets. People walk by with dogs, and I don't know if anybody knows anything about little dogs, but they think they're Rottweilers. So here's the red beets. They're actually getting pretty big. I cannot wait to get my first red beet. Still have lettuce going that didn't bolt. Here's the Swiss chard, still looking good. Getting some flowering on the oregano. It's not shocking for me. The Tabasco plants from the last time, these are getting much bigger. There's 3 in here. I might have to transplant them out. And I started, as you can see, doing some brassicas and stuff for my fall garden. Lettuce over there is looking good. So yeah, transplanted the spider plant, looks good. But if that gives you any idea how big that sunflower is, from over at the garden where the corn is, it's a doozy. It's big. Alright guys, the lights are clicking on. I'm going to lose daylight here. And I wanted to get this video out to you. So I thank you for joining me once again at Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It. Any comments, or if you have any answers to a few of my questions, please feel free to leave them down below. And I bless you. I'm glad to have you here watching this video. Okay guys, until next time.